This? What the fuck are we recording this for? It's been quite pointless. Yeah, it's fine, yeah, I can hear you. Oh, shh, we're recording. We don't want this to go out to the nation.
Read about the things that happen throughout the world. Don't believe in everything you see or hear. Read all about it. Read all about it. News of the world. News of the world. Read all about it. Read all about it. News of the world. News of the world.
Good evening, hello, happy new year, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Well, since we've seen you last, fuck, shouldn't have just done that in a chatty, improvised kind of a way. I've managed to lose where I was. Sorry about that. All cameras back.
Read about the things that happen throughout the world. Don't believe in everything you see or hear. Read all about it. Read all about it. News of the world. News of the world. Read all about it. Read all about it. News of the world. News of the world.
Hello, happy new year. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Well, the news since we've been away. There was widespread condemnation when footage of Saddam Hussein's hanging ended up on YouTube, though not as much as when the rope turned up on eBay. A lot of people in Britain were appalled to hear that Saddam had been hung. The word is hanged. In Australia, England were humiliated in the Ashes, but cricketer Monty Panesar won the Beard of the Year award for 2006. After his main rival fell through a trapdoor with just one day to go. Shane Warne particularly enjoyed the Ashes series. The Australians won 5-0, and he claimed his 700th victim, a barmaid from Sydney. There was a lot of arguments over England's selection process. Of all the teams to play, why pick Australia? See, the last time England lost the Ashes in a whitewash was in 1921, but at least that time they had a decent excuse. The first 11 had all been killed at the Somme. What, too soon, is it? Oh, but Saddam, yeah, that's fine. With the expansion of the EU, many Bulgarians and Romanians have travelled to Britain in search of work, only to be turned back at Dover by the UK's Polish border guards. Joining me tonight are 6 of the funniest men working in the UK at the moment. Give it for Andy Parsons, David Mitchell, Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Mark Watson. Welcome to the show. Our first round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of Tony Blair taking a break from office recently. So, what does BBGF stand for?
Is it Blair's boobs go flabby?
Harsh, harsh.
Is it Blair's belly button gigantic and freakish? You could fit a flapjack in that.
Is it Blair Bum's gay fish?
Is he
Blair Bum a gay fish?
That's a fair point, yeah.
Is it Bush's bum licker gets face mask?
Is it Blair... Oh, sorry, go on, Mark.
No, go on, you go on.
Oh, thanks.
No!
Oh,
That's so polite.
Come
I
on,
love that.
let's have a kiss. Is it... There's a lot of pressure on mine to be funny now.
Is it?
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, go on.
I've saved you now. What do you want to say?
I'll do it in your voice, it'll be fine. Is it... Blair Borrows Gibbs' fiancée?
That's uncanny.
Ironically, that was exactly what I was about to say.
Still wrong.
Is it Blimey Blair's got fat?
Is he saying...
It's right that you don't laugh at that because I am fatter than him. I'm mocking a more important and thinner man.
The great thing about that shot, though, it proves it doesn't matter how powerful you are, everyone looks like a twat in Bermudas. It's great.
Both bastards get fucked.
Almost certainly.
I was showing
certainly
such anger. Brilliant.
Or is it big breasts, gorgeous figure?
Yes.
You know, it doesn't have to be negative all the time.
No.
No, you're right.
Blair Bugger's good friend. Obviously, he's only about to bug him. Good
That's a
friends
before and
shot.
after shot.
Yeah. Blair's boobies gravitate floorwards.
Blair's blatant ghoulie flash.
Also not in the shot.
No, you're right.
I'll give you a clue. The second B stands for B.
Is it G for G?
Yeah, the second G stands for G.
Is it Freebie, the last one?
Freebie is the last one.
Yeah.
Blair's
Blair's BG Freebie.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Well done, you. Very good. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Blair's BG Freebie. This is the claim that the Blair family's New Year break at the Florida home of the Prime Minister's hero, apparently, BG Robin Gibb, was free of charge, an allegation strenuously denied by Downing Street. What is the problem with him getting a free holiday off Robin Gibb? Who among us would not dream of such a thing?
That's his whole problem, is he's holidaying with people like Cliff Richard. Why doesn't he go and stay with Tom Jones, get laid and cheer up a bit? He's only hanging out with Robin Gibb because he's the only person in the world who's got a worse legacy than him.
Doesn't he have to go and stay with a celebrity at all? Why is he still in... Doesn't he realise he is himself famous? You can't have You have to hang out with these people. It's quite impressive to be Prime Minister. It's probably better than being one of the less good Bee Gees.
That's why there's only three of them.
So one of them's dead. Best one dies first. That's the rule in pop.
You've got to be careful. You've got to be careful, David, because the big Bee Gee is terrifying. He's like 7 foot tall, sings black music in the voice of a castrated white boy, and as each of the other Bee Gees dies, he becomes more powerful.
I think he looks a bit like Aslan as well.
He himself cannot die.
Yeah.
Is he not the dead
He's been
one?
known to... He actually hides in wardrobes at IKEA, just frightening kids.
The one in the middle who looks like Jesus is still alive.
Yes, yeah.
One of the other ones has died. And the other of the other ones is a friend of the Prime Minister. It's not just learning the news.
I think you've got a point about the good ones dying first, because Cliff Richard is still alive. How? It's just incredible. I think he's a big Christian. Maybe God is putting off having to meet him.
Too much of a fan, isn't he?
Yeah.
Tony Blair actually only met Robin Gibb through Cliff Richard. Obviously, Cliff was pissed off with Tony always coming to stay with him, trying to palm him off on somebody else.
Is there a danger that Robin Gibb opened his door and saw Tony Blair and Cherie and whoever else was there and just had that moment of, Jesus, I didn't actually mean, you know, when you're in Miami.
Hello. He wasn't actually there. That was the only reason he invited Blair round, wasn't it? He said, oh, come and stay. We're actually not going to be there until New Year's Eve when we'll all be pissed. It won't matter anyway.
Can you imagine those singing Old Lang Syne with Robin Gibb?
Blair on sort of, you know, jamming. Even if you want the worst mental image, apparently he's into an open relationship with his druid wife.
Yeah.
So imagine that as a foursome. Sherry, Tony, druid wife. Yeah, exactly. That's put you off your tea now, isn't it?
The way that he puts it was quite, you know, they said, we like to cruise, we like to watch, which sounds so much nicer than dogging. Which is, you know... So, imagine that, I was thinking about it, imagine that. Imagine being at an orgy and having sex with someone and being watched by a Bee Gee. How weird would that be? What's the decorum there? All right?
Yeah. Especially if you go, it's not even the good Bee Gee.
Your brother looks like Aslan.
Then from the cupboard behind you, just shaking.
Makes you think, has anyone been to an orgy? What's the etiquette there? Yeah. When you're getting watched, you make polite conversation, you just get on with the job in hand.
Yeah, yeah. How many number ones have you had?
Yeah, exactly. Would you start...
By number ones. By number ones, we mean the charting of records. Right?
Yeah, if you like that, that's a different room. That's a different room. Sorry, go on, please.
Not in here, mate. I put down some plastic sheeting in the other one if you want to hear.
But that's how everyone was really upset because she was a bisexual druid. Just the idea that, oh, she's into the sun, cock and fanny. You know, it just seems... And it's... Why do they put it like that, a bisexual druid? It's like the Sun did the other day. They said, asylum seeker shags sheep. And you're like, what's the more important story there? The fact that a sheep has been bummed or the fact that it was a foreigner doing it?
It's an embarrassment of riches, really, isn't it?
But the whole bisexual druid thing, it's just, you know... Surely a druid would be a good place to stay because they're going to know when the sun's out. You know, so you can get like a bit warm and stuff like that. And the other thing that you're not with that. What about leaving? That sounds like bullshit. Right?
Surely we all know. Everyone knows when the sun's out.
It illuminates all the area. It really is massive these days.
These days.
It's huge ball of gas these days.
Well, Michael Fisk,
My eyes work by registering light and the changes in light.
my vision's based on movement. I'm like a T-Rex.
I think it's good there are some bisexual druids at last.
Correct. Yeah. That's
What
enough.
do you mean at last? They've been at it for ages. Anytime I meet a druid, it's bisexual, this, bisexual, that. I have no idea where I'm going with this. If anyone wants to...
I'm enjoying where you're going. Keep going.
It's an orgy, probably.
What was funny, the way the Mail and the Express reported it, that it made it sound like Blair was going to come back on a horse, you know, with a cardigan made out of grass and pubes. You know, with badgers behind it. There's going to be some changes, you know. You don't become a druid via osmosis. I didn't watch Brokeback Mountain and want to bum my mate, you know.
Yes, you did.
Well, that's a fair point, but...
But he's stayed with Cliff Richard, isn't he? He's now stayed with Robin Gibb. I bet Alvin Stardust is shitting his pants, isn't he?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great next year if Brown stays with the Wu-Tang Clan?
But would you go to your musical heroes' home for New Year's? Would
definitely.
you actually? I did.
There was a bloke...
Beethoven is dead.
There was a bloke...
Classical.
But we do in this country, we do anything for a bargain. When you go to a hotel, you know, the sheets, the covers, you can nick the bed if you can put it in your bag. Whenever someone comes around, you know, like Tesco, oh, try this. Doesn't matter whether it's made out of dog food, you still have it. And, like, car boot sales. In this country, we love them, you know? There was nearly a riot at an IKEA over wardrobes a few years ago. We love a bargain. You lot don't. You're like, no, I only buy them eBay.
No, we all agree with you. We're wondering how you can link this into Tony Blair staying in Robin.
My point is...
What put people off the IKEA wardrobe was the advert they had campaign with the giant Bee Gees, who just after his brother's death was 8.5 feet tall, and a little man with goat's legs.
I can hardly fit in this one, and when the other one goes, no wardrobe will be able to hold me.
But my point is, like,
going back to Russell.
Go on. If a BG came around my house and said, all right, Russ, do you want to come around mine? I'd say, yeah, all right. You know, I'm cooking something at the minute, but I'll be there in 5 minutes. You know? If I popped round, there was a bloke in our village who everyone knew was a pedo. But
Now this is going somewhere.
yeah.
Everybody knows now.
Wait, let me finish. During the winter, we'd give him a wide berth. Summer, he had a pool. What are you going to do? You're going to have a swim. You like that? I'm having a swim, you're having something for you, no problems.
So are you saying you reckon Robin Gibb fancies Tony Blair?
I'm saying
his kids.
I want to watch a Prime Minister frolic in my pool. That gets me really hard. I've got a photo of Neville Chamberlain that I'll whack off to late at night. But it's not the same as a live Prime Minister with goggles on and his tits out, diving in my pool.
What are politicians clamouring to condemn this week?
Oh, it's Saddam's death.
It is the hanging of Saddam.
They couldn't have made it more undignified. They couldn't have made it more undignified if they'd hung him from a swing ball. You're Saddam? No, yes!
But there was some good news, wasn't there? Because the actual charges against him for his second court case, they've been dropped.
They've been dropped.
So that was good of them. Yeah. They were thinking of charging him for those as well. Double death, maybe, but no.
At worst, a mixed week for Saddam Hussein.
I'll tell you, 2007's not gone well for him so far.
How many of you actually watch it on YouTube? Just genuinely?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
It was amazing. It was
horrendous. It was disgusting. I only gave it 2 stars.
It's true.
It was actually John Prescott was the person who came out and was the person to condemn it. Well, that's pretty bad if the only sort of moral conscience in your nation is a man who has done things to his body that has turned his internal organs into patty. A man who couldn't wear a tie and a belt on the same day or he'd turn into sausages. He's the moral heart of our country.
Well, what's really interesting about it, everyone was really upset about Blair going on holiday with the Bee Gees, but this week there's actually a law going through that gives the major oil companies in the world 75% of the profits in Iraq for the next 30 years. And you kind of go, well, that's the thing to get angry about. That's sort of proof that the war was illegal, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is.
It's not desperately
It's
funny.
sort of, in another way, it's also the proof that the war was kind of worth it. At least we got something out of it. Thousands of soldiers just to murder some beardy guy. Now, oil, that's worth a lot of money, I've heard.
Let's see him say that in front of a load of Guardian readers. Kill him! Throw organic beans at him! I'm too weak. I reckon it would have been good just to have put him in the Big Brother house. Imagine that. I don't know if you've seen it, it's been rubbish this series. I've got day 3, Jermaine and Saddam and Moo walking towards the diary room.
He would have come in through a trapdoor in the ceiling.
It would have been worth it just for the surprise on his face.
Yeah.
Hang on. Wait a minute. What's Jay's mother doing here?
I am in house.
At the end of that round, the winner at the end of that round, I'm going to give it to Russell, David and Andy.
Our next round is called Between the Lines and features Hugh and Frankie. Would you please make your way to the press pit? In this round, one of them takes on the role of a person in the news addressing the media, while the other translates what they really mean. Frankie, you are former UN Secretary-General Kofi Annan making his farewell New Year's speech as he hands over to his successor. Hugh, you will tell us what he really means.
Welcome to the United Nations, the world's most respected peacekeeping authority. As it comes to the time where I hand over to my successor, I must reflect on the fact that we have had many successes.
We came first in Channel 4's 50 most useless organisations. I got to meet Jimmy Carr. Humbling.
Naturally, we have been keeping an eye on things in Iraq to see how they are going.
They seem to be going really badly.
During my tenure, many people have become better off.
My son has become a millionaire.
It is ridiculous to say that the UN is overfunded.
As I said to my helicopter pilot when I sent him to the dry cleaners with my cat's waistcoat.
Many of us here saw the 9/11 attacks coming.
They flew right past the window.
I will always remember the first words that George W. Bush said to me.
Go, boy. Cut my balls and work the shaft.
Very good, well done. Thank you and thank you.
Now we play a round called Stand Up and Joke Off. This game... This game involves Mark, Andy, Frankie and Russell. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is a stand-up challenge. Our random news generator contains a bank of topics. We spin the wheel and when it stops, anyone can step forward and try to make us laugh about the subject it's landed on. The winner is a team. I judge who produced the funniest material. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First topic is airport security. Who wants to come in that? Mark.
Hey, I find it very stressful, the amount of security at the airport these days. All these announcements, ladies and gentlemen, at this time of maximum security, at this time of height... What do they mean, at this time of maximum? When's it going to stop? Ladies and gentlemen, I think they've gone. If you see a mysterious package, shake it! I tell you what I really hate, though, airports, those metal detectors you have to walk through. I went on holiday, well, in fact, I'll tell you, I went to Hong Kong. If you just say, I went on holiday, people go, oh, anywhere nice? Anywhere nice? I hate that. Anywhere nice? No, I thought I visited a shithole this year. I'm fed up of nice. Anyway, so I went to Hong Kong, and I always set the metal detector off. Beep every time. Beep, beep, beep. So this time, walk through it, nothing. No beeping. I was so relieved. I went, yes! Which doesn't help. If anything, that weakened my position slightly.
Well done, Mark Watson. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is leisure. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I don't quite know how that signifies leisure. How has that old man got her? That's a joke. Anyways, we've got more disposable income now than ever, right? And this is quite an old story, but my mum recently bought a hot tub. Now, I don't know if anyone else... It's quite exciting when your mum gets hot. She put it at the bottom of the garden, you get quite giddy, and then you're in it, and then you realise you're actually just outside having a bath with your mum. And it's a very... You've got no recollection of how to behave, right? And I've got a slightly lazy eye, so my mum's like, are you looking at my thighs? No, she made me put an eye patch on. There's nothing bleaker. People just driving past our house go, what's that old woman doing in a bath outside with a pirate? And sort of sat there, right? It gets freakier. My dad jumped in, my brother jumped in, my sister jumped in, and two of our family dogs leapt into the pool, right? So we're all on the edge, like really British, terrified, we're all naked. Dogs are just going around like that. Having the time of their life, right? And my mum just chose this moment to embarrass us, just looked up and went, hey, guess what? She wasn't doing a dog impression, that would be weird. She went, guess what everyone in this hot tub's got in common? I don't know, Mum, what? That's a dog hitting me, right? My mum looked up and went, everybody in this hot tub has sucked my tits. There's two dogs in here. Is that why Dad dressed up as Lassie? You're killing the family. Sorry, Mum, but you did say it. Right.
OK, that leaves us with Andy and Frankie. The next topic is... It's Britishness. Do you want to come in? Mr. Parsons.
The photos.
Yes. Britishness. For those of you who require more than just a setup to a joke, there's only two things we like, aren't there? Huh? Moaning and queuing. And why do we like queuing? So as we can have a bloody good moan about it. How long the queue is, how slowly it's moving, and how those rude foreigners have pushed in front of us because they don't have any decent concept of what a good bloody queue looks like.
There you go, Andy Parsons. OK, Frankie, let's see what you've been left with. It's science.
Scientists have just built the world's biggest ever super collider, and they're doing an experiment to find out what makes up protons. I hope that if the experiment's successful, the whole of our reality will dissolve and a big sign will come up that says, Level 2. Scientists have they've just put a chip in a guy's brain, and the guy's paralysed. He can only blink, but with the chip, he can move a cursor on the screen and he can pick out letters and he can communicate. So far, he's written, kill me, kill me, kill me. I always wondered, you know that woman that had the face transplant? See if she gave you a blowjob, would that technically count as a threesome? You know, science isn't all progress. You know, so you look at 4x4s and they're bad for the environment. They're too big, aren't they? I mean, often now when I'm out dogging, I have to stand on someone's shoulders just to be able to press my balls on the windshield.
Thank you, Roy, ladies and gentlemen. I think in that round the points go to Russell and Andy. Everyone come back. Our next round is, if this is the answer, what is the question on the board? We have 6 categories. David, which one would you like?
Transport, please.
OK, your category is transport, and the answer is between 10 and 15,000. What is the question?
Is it what's the price of a season ticket to London from anywhere in Kent?
With a young person's rail card.
Is it how many turkeys faked bird flu in December?
By how many runs did England lose the last Ashes test?
Is it how many people in England are secretly elves? It'd be fun though, wouldn't it? Imagine that. I'm an elf, really?
You think on sofas all up and down the country there are between 10 and 15,000 people going, no!
Pack the tiny bag!
They all watch Mock the Week. All the elves.
All the elves.
Yes, big fans, big fans. Love satire.
Frankie's not to get to Cortina, yeah.
You better watch out because
You seem to
if
know a
the
lot
big
about-
Bee Gee switches the TV on right now, he's going to think you're taking the piss.
And that's the last thing we want to do in this show.
Does he have a TV in the cupboard, does he? That he has?
No, Russell just comes in next week with these massive scars down his chest, with the big Bee Gees eating his entrails.
Is it how far do Ryanair land from their stated destination?
Is it according to school dinner, ladies, how many minutes should you give pasta? Is it how many push-ups could Jesus do? There we go, boys. Not bad for a man with nails in his hands.
Imagine if he should have brought that out as a fitness video. That would have been great this Christmas. Just him next to Jennifer.
Now let's try it again with a cross on the back.
Would it just be called Keep Up With Jesus? I bet you can't. There we go. Powering forward and back for an hour. You dead yet?
Jesus has brought out a fitness video. It's called the Bible. And the fitness is in your soul. Carry on.
Is it age 12, I saw a shop assistant's breast in Woolworths? What age would I have to live to before I can get that image out of my mind?
Is it how many people, when they make a cup of tea, feel compelled to put the tea cozy on your head?
That's just one, Russell.
I agree with you.
It surely doesn't count if elves do it. They're naturally going to do it.
Still
Did you
people.
hear
He's
that? Elvis. Dora says, down with you lot. Kill him.
Is it how many Saddam lookalikes did they hang the same day just to make sure?
I'll give you a clue. It's not going anywhere.
Oh, it's to do. Is it how many bits of luggage are left at Heathrow?
That's exactly so. Very good, yes. The question I was looking for is how many items of luggage were estimated to be stuck at Heathrow Airport after recent flight delays? This is the estimated size of the unclaimed baggage mountain accumulated at Heathrow over the festive period. Many of the suitcases contained elves. I can't back it up.
Oh, 10 to 15,000.
Bloody best place for them, if you ask me.
Unbelievable.
What caused BA's luggage mountain?
One of the things they said caused it was the fog.
Yeah.
Now, what happened
see
with
the
the fog
bags.
was they cancelled various flights. How pissed off would you be? They go, you can't fly, but we've taken your luggage and you're not going to get it back for 2 weeks. You'd be livid, wouldn't you? What a bunch of cunts.
Well, haven't they taken... It's untrue, is it not?
Don't sit on the fence here about this, Andrew.
Why can't they fly in the fog? Because the only thing I find comforting about playing is that thing where they go, oh, it's all done by radar. I mean, the idea that the pilots are actually going, oh, nearly hit that one.
But the baggage mountain's not actually at Heathrow, is it? Because they're sending all the bags to Milan.
That's
to get them sorted out.
Yes, the international sorting depot for luggage is in Milan. They're flying thousands of bags to Milan to find out they need to go back to Peckham, and they fly them back again and then send them to
And
a
there's a
depressing
danger
would
in
that
that
be?
because the bags, when they get back, will have accumulated so many air miles on their own. They just want to go somewhere else.
Your bags will upgrade while you're there.
How depressing would that be if your bags had a better holiday than you? Just sauntering through the door. Hello, hello.
In brand new designer clothing, I've been to Milan.
I'll take an espresso.
My bags in that context, I take it you mean luggage and not testicles.
Depends what you pack for your depends what you pack for your holiday, Frankie. Just a lovely image of you swinging,
check
going.
your testicles in. If I just take them onto the plane with me.
Not if they contain more than 100 millilitres of fluid.
People don't really... Baggage is a whole world. There's a site on the internet that I happened to come across called...
Go on.
It's called the Dull Men's Club. And
How did you find that?
Someone told me about it. And what they do on the Dull Men's Club... this was about 2 or 3 years ago. On the Dull Men's Club is essentially a list of all the world's airports. And they list all the baggage carousels. And they tell you whether the carousels go clockwise or counterclockwise. Fantastic. You can just type in Lima, it says Terminal 1, clockwise. It's just
For example.
I thought they're reversible. Aren't they?
No. The flaps, you know, they can only go one way
I've
around.
seen one go backwards. I swear I've seen one go backwards, and it's not a dream because I have more interesting dreams than that.
You'd worry if that was your dream. No, that's better.
And when you saw it going backwards, you noted at the time.
I thought, you know, it's a machine, an electric machine. I am a scientist. And they just put it into reverse, and now it's going backwards, and that's
Could you see your luggage, and you were just about to pick it up, and then suddenly it was going away from you?
What it was I'd sort of turned up, having got off the plane, and was standing in the waiting area, and it started to go round, and went round for a few yards, and then it started to go round the other way.
That's just a warm-up lap.
But it still, it showed a capability to go in both directions, albeit only briefly in one. But I didn't think...
I suspect witchcraft.
Have you been on this website, David?
I think you'd quite enjoy it.
Well, I think that website sounds the most pointless thing in the world. Because it's saying it can only go clockwise, and I know it can go both ways. So I'm going to go on that website, I'm going to hack into it, and I'm going to change them all from clockwise or anti-clockwise to both directions. Both directions.
David, at what point during watching the baggage carousel go the wrong way around?
I didn't know it was the wrong way at that point.
I accept that. Watching it go both ways, then, did you go, this is something that will make a fantastic anecdote on a leading comedy show?
I always knew it was a great story.
Just needed a niche. Well, that's stored away for the future.
It's just like the wonderful day that I noticed they were changing the way they had the buttons to press for traffic lights. I thought, blimey, these are great times I'm living in.
Very good. You always, you know what I mean? You know when it sort of goes around, you forget what your bag looks like. It's horrible. You find yourself going, right, oh, God. Oh, no, I wish I had a purple bag.
I want my bags going in the opposite direction to everyone else.
Absolutely. I like to stuff mine full of elves so that it gets near me, just here, bang, bang. Cheers, Gideon.
Mr. Howard!
Let's get you some Horlicks.
Thank you.
But once, the worst, I went for a wee just before, and, you know, in a toilet, not on the couch, I'm not a beast. Then I came back, and there was this...
Do you think, by the way, if you did wee in the toilet, you'd actually see it coming back around again?
I went for a whiz, and then I came back, and there was this sort of bag going around that said, inflatable dolls, treat with care. And he sort of... and it went around sort of about 3... and then I realised that what happened, after I'd been for a wee, my mates had written in Tipp-Ex on my bag. And it's this moment of oh, that's my bag. And I was like, beast, monster! Shut up.
I'm desperately trying to move this on, but I do think...
Before you do, can I just say, how shit are British Airways when they've lost half your luggage, they don't even know how many lost bits of luggage they've got. Between 10,000 and 15,000.
Yeah.
That's 5,000 baggages they may or may not have lost. The other argument they gave was we were introducing new working practices. What sort of new working practices were they introducing? We're going to do fuck all with your luggage.
Losing luggage working practice, where you hand your luggage in, we burn it, and it saves a hell of a lot of time at the other end.
What a bunch of cunts. That could be terrible, though. What if you had packed your testicles in there?
Or an elf.
I'd love it if someone just switched the episode on at that point. What if you packed your testicles in there and or an elf?
Not the weakest back. We really do have to move on. I think we
have beaten the shit out of the baggage carousel issue. More so than it ever should have been done on a topical news quiz. So let us move on. But actually, first, why is it called a carousel? There's no fun element to it.
The only ones used to have horses on them that went round and round. That you could ride on, like in Mary Poppins.
Fucking shut up about carousels. The only reason we're talking about this is because Hugh looked at some boring fucking website instead of 6 hours of cock-hungry teens like a normal man.
Okay. On the BA issue, I'll made up.
I was watching
Wait a second,
hungry teens the other day, and apparently their knobs can move both ways.
Okay. Let's not even get into the conversation.
People were phoning up to try and find out where their luggage was, and it cost them 3p a minute on British Airways phone line, right? And then they were getting through, and people were going, "Oh, well, I'm sorry, we've got no idea where your luggage is, because we're in Bombay." How fucked off would you be with that?
I don't know whether a call centre's the best way to deal with this, because if you've essentially got a pile of 15,000 bags, you know, somewhere in Heathrow, people answering, are they then supposed to say, "Hold the line, please, I'm just going to go and scramble on a mountain of baggage and try and spot your dark brown bag, Mrs. Smith." So essentially, they're just there to calm people down. Yes, you may have lost some of your property, but at least you're not dead.
And because you need to try and keep your holding for a bit longer so as they make more money. Oh, tell us a bit more about the bag. How many elves were in it? Yeah.
Would the elves still be struggling? No, they'd have suffocated by now.
Suffocating on testicles. What a horrible way to die.
It's the way I
wanted to go.
You really have to let us go along. Aside from the luggage mountain in transport issues, what else in Britain is the highest in Europe?
It's the cost of going on our trains, our train fares.
Your train fares are the highest in Europe.
Yes. Yeah. Although not per minute, because they take so fucking long to get there. Actually, as a place to sit, it's relatively economic.
They're not apologetic about it. That's £91.12. How are you paying for that? Well, I've sold a couple of things.
The standard saver return now from London to Glasgow is £98.20. You can fly to Barcelona for 40 quid. Who on earth would pay 98 quid 20 to go to Glasgow? You fly yourself out to Barcelona for 40 quid. Whoever you're going to see in Glasgow, you fly them out to Barcelona for 40 quid. And you spend the first £18.20 on sangria.
But in the long run, basically, Glasgow's going to depopulate, isn't it? It's going to be a ghost town in 10 years.
Well, especially now that we've heard that there's sangria in Barcelona. The place is just empty.
The good thing about a train is you always know you're 5 metres away from someone who's crazy and willing to share. Do you know what I mean? Do you mind if I sit here? Not at all, go for your life. I've written a book. Oh, nice. Where is it? On my belly.
On the train down this week, this is true, there's a Scottish guy trying to chat up a girl on my table, and they're sort of flirting, and she's a medical student, and she's got this book of, like, case histories and stuff, and she goes, "Oh, could you help me so I can try and diagnose you?" And he goes, "OK." And he goes and looks at a case history, and you'd choose something light, wouldn't you, if you're flirting?
You open light, yeah.
He closes the book and goes, "I would appear to have infected diarrhoea." And that phone number disappeared over a series of descriptions of his bloody turds.
There's such genuine lunacy on, like, and the great thing, like, I come from Bristol to come to the show, and it's great because you arrive in London, first thing you hear, "Do not approach unattended packages. Beware, there is a bomber in your mind." You know, in Bristol, I genuinely heard this the other day. Just come over town, "Here, don't feed the pigeons." And just sums up. Just seriously, Dave, he's got a point. Don't give him a Snickers. It's wonderful.
You also wouldn't fly into Bristol now in case it was a small smattering of drizzle and your sheet glass runway.
It just shows you, you know, because they're always saying, "Oh, don't worry, if we have to crash land on water, it'll be fine. You know, there's whistles. There's never been a successful landing on water. Everyone's always died, but don't worry." And then they go, "Oh, Bristol, it's a bit damp."
One lady actually said, one lady genuinely said, "I don't know why they just don't get a giant hairdresser." Hairdresser, hairdryer, you fucking read. That would have worked if I'd have said it properly.
Well, presumably the giant hairdresser would have a giant hairdresser.
There we go.
Provided she didn't smash up the terminal building with her giant cone.
At the very least, she could have plucked the airplanes out of the sky and then gently just laid them to rest. You could just stand there catching planes and drawing them down.
Too many of our giants become hairdressers. That's the problem. And it should be working in airspace.
The elves are unrepresented.
The biggest problem, there are currently
smaller
elves.
planes, then we could do that for them. Dara, you could be the elf giant.
Only the elves
Fuck am I talking about?
People lured you into whimsy.
Where's my fucking career going?
You know, on the train fares.
Fine note. Winners of that round are Frankie, Hugh and Mark. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way over to the performance area, please. I call it ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. In the week in which the government called for stricter driving tests, things you wouldn't hear on a driving test.
When I slap the dashboard with my forehead, I'd like you to crawl out of the wreckage and fetch help.
OK, when I give you the signal, I want you to wind the window down and call the cyclist a wanker.
Right, £5 for a pensioner. Good.
My stumps don't reach the pedals.
Stella?
Well, if you'd just like to pull into the lay-by, Julie, we can do the oral part of the test.
Right, when I say go, foot down, straight through the jewellers, get where you can.
You made one mistake, sir. A Pine air freshener doesn't cover up the smell of a dead hitchhiker.
Well, if she doesn't get up, you've definitely failed.
Well, at least we know the airbags work.
George Michael, you've passed.
If I fail, can I still keep driving my taxi?
Me in a car. Can't believe it.
On my signal, I'd like you to mount the pavement and kill my ex-wife.
Grab the wheel. Pigs! Left ear.
There are two ways you can pass. You can spend 2 hours driving round Norwich, or you can suck on this.
OK, our next topic is what the Queen didn't say in her Christmas message.
What the fuck are you staring at?
So if you're bored around Christmas time, here's what I like to do. Peel a satsuma so it looks like a wang. Brilliant.
Edward stuffed the turkey this year. He seemed to be awfully good at it.
Yeah.
Lord Stevens had it wrong. I did have her killed.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance? It's been good to spend some time with my family. And Harry.
Oh, I'm the only one that can't do an impression of the Queen. OK, pretend the Queen is from Cardiff. Hello, I'm here with some token blacks.
Yum, yum. I've just eaten a swan.
It's at times like these that I think of those less... Oh, fuck it.
Yes. It's not her, it's me. And she's perfectly safe. As long as you do everything I say.
I've just had 4 portions of Christmas pudding, and I'm so stuffed, I've just touched cloth.
what a year it's been. This year, what do we do? Tea bagging. I did that for the first time. So, put the balls in like that.
Ha! You changed the channel and I'm still here, fuckers!
I've just had my traditional Christmas roast. Philip at the front.
Don't tell anyone, but I'm actually an elf.
I've had a few medical problems this year. I'm now so old that my pussy is haunted.
Points go to Frankie, Hugh and Mark. Everyone sit down. And that is the end of the show. This week's winners are Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Mark Watson. With commiserations to Andy Parsons, David Mitchell and Russell Howard. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. I'm Darragh Breen. Good night. Tomorrow night at 10 p.m. on BBC Two, Mock the Week takes a light-hearted and cheeky look at the current news stories, such as the carnage in Iraq, Princess Diana's death and the bombing in Somalia. See you then. Keep smiling. Is that all right for tone?
Are you being paid by the trail?
That's the only fucking thing that gets us a crowd, you know what I mean? People who just freak themselves senseless over John Deed going, what do I watch now? Oh, hello, all right. This guy looks like another thinking woman's crumpet.